Hi, my name is Keela Garrett, and I'm going to be presenting recruiting and selecting staff. So what does recruiting and selecting staff mean to you? Recruiting staff is a big thing in healthcare as it continues to change every day and become even bigger. The needs for staffing becomes bigger and people become pressed for time. As stated by Sullivan, the purpose of the recruitment and selection process is to match people to jobs. When managers have to select their new recruitments, they need to have the proper tools to do so and be able to give the interviewing process some time, since they want to make sure that these individuals will work well with all the other staff and be able to function on their own once off of orientation. When recruiting staff, you want to make sure that they have some experience and know how to operate in that nursing role. So recruiting applicants. When you recruit applicants, yes, it is the job of human resources and the nurse manager, but it's always better if done by the current employees spreading the word. It's also more cost effective that way too. Recruiting is a big part of what the hospital may spend their money on due to needing so much staff. Since people see being close to home a big factor into looking for a job, it's good for those hospitals to reach out to nurses living close by, which can be done through the State Board of Nursing, since that can provide the names of the registered nurses by zip code, allowing organizations to target recruitment efforts by the surrounding areas. Another big way to recruit staff is through the nursing students that do their clinicals in that hospital. Some hospitals will provide these students with mentors or preceptors during their clinical rotation or offer an externship that encourages these individuals to want to seek a job in that facility post-graduation. Some hospitals, such as Lancaster General Hospital, will employ these student nurses to work as aides in the hospital to have them see firsthand what this hospital has to offer and encourages them to seek employment post-graduation. With these individuals who are employed by the hospital, such as at LGH, it gives them the flexibility to pick up in the hospital wherever they can between schoolwork and other things, but still gives them the sense of what the organization is all about. Plus, they get to go to every floor and ultimately be able to see where they want to work post-graduation. Also getting a little bit more experience. Selecting candidates. So when selecting candidates, one thing to keep in mind is that this workforce is always changing. So this nursing workforce needs to be built up in number, quality, and in leadership skills. When selecting candidates, there is a lot that comes into play. The process starts with the individual applying to the job. Once that is completed, then the human resource individual will review the application to see if the candidate meets the basic needs for the job. The next couple of steps include HR interviewing the individual and contacting their references before the nurse manager would interview the individual for the job. After the nurse manager interviews, then they must compare the individual to other interviewees, decide to hire or not, and then a background check is performed and the individual is offered the job. And this becomes official after the individual will take a drug test and it comes back clean. So what is a manager's role during this whole process? So managers have a huge role when it comes to recruiting and selecting staff, because ultimately it is their decision who gets hired and who doesn't. So finding someone who fits in well with their team is a big deal. As stated by Sullivan, individual nurse managers also affect how well the unit is able to attract and retain staff. A nurse manager who is able to create a positive work environment through leadership style and clinical expertise will have a positive impact on recruitment efforts, because potential staff members will hear about it and be attracted to that area. Some nurse managers want to find the best person possibly suited for the job, someone who hits every mark. This can lead to waste of time because most likely they aren't out there. They need to be searching for someone who checks off as many of the marks, but also fits the values and the current makeup of the team. Managers also need to be looking at not just the new people coming in, but the individuals leaving the job. Exit interviews are key when it comes to finding out why an individual may have left, whether it be a positive that they wanted to further their career or location-wise, versus negative being the current workplace environment or not getting along with the current staff. If the individual left for negative reasons, then the nurse manager needs to figure out a way to fix those things on the unit before bringing someone else on board and them leaving for the same reason. It is also good for a nurse manager to identify what elements are absolutely essential for an individual to have versus elements that can be learned. This will help the nurse manager to be able to decipher between different interview candidates. So what applicants may be looking for during this whole process. The application process isn't just for the interviewer, it is also for the interviewee. People will look for a place where the nurse satisfaction is higher, such as in a magnet hospital because they demonstrate higher job satisfaction than a non-magnet hospital. Candidates will also look for a job where there is encouragement for specific rural training, further career development, and professional advancement. These candidates also consider their ability to be empowered and involved in the decision-making and development of their environment, along with a level of trust and confidence in the management are big things that are looked at when individuals decide to accept a job offer or not. Some individuals may also look for somewhere that has a good precepting or residency program. This allows for good structured, consistent training for new nurses, and when a preceptor is working with them, the new nurse, they are guided and supported as they gain confidence and stronger work experience. So these two are examples of what recruitment may look like. The one on the left, I would say, is probably a bad recruitment example, just because it says, when general staff nurse, dialysis nurse, any type of nurse it's talking about is only female. When nowadays males can be nurses also. So it needs to be not just, gender roles, because it's saying that EMT is only for males versus females also. But on the right, I would say that this is a good type of nurse recruitment because it has male and female in there, and it also has different type of ethnicities in there. And it talks about, when and where and what to bring to this type of recruitment. So with this YouTube clip, it's I thought a great recruitment video by St. John Hospital, and it just talks really greatly about what is to be looked for when recruiting. So here's the clip.
I think in St. John we've recognized why our doors are open, that our doors are open for the patient, and the people closest to that are the nurses who are there 24/7 taking care of those patients. One of the things I say to everyone is you are the ones that identify the problem, but who knows better than you to identify the solution? We have a shared leadership structure in place for they can bring their voice and bring their issues, bring their ideas in their exchanges, and share them with their peers across the medical center.
Every day in that facility, there's a daily operation meeting and a safety meeting where we have face-to-face time with our executives, and it doesn't feel like we're on two different tiers. It feels like we're all one big team trying to achieve the same goal.
At the Regional Onboarding Center, we have simulation labs that we put in place to really do role-playing and prep.
You're not just in the classroom, but you're actually physically touching IV pumps. You're going through scenarios, just like nursing school, and you're able to be in a room with other nurses who are helping you along.
We want to make sure we provide a safe environment, that we fail before it reaches the patient. So it's a safe culture, it's an open culture, where if you have made an error, you're about to make an error, that we can talk openly about it so we can fix our processes before it reaches the patient.
The tradition right now is 3 12s, and then you're off for 4, and that sounds good in theory until you're about to the second half of the third 12 and you're exhausted. So to remedy that, as well as to make sure that we have staff that we need, we really tried to stress the 4, 6, and 8-hour shifts and 10 in addition to the 12-hour shift.
They care about that you have a life and a family outside of this, because they want each and every nurse to be able to spend quality time at home with their family and then come to work and be refreshed and say, I want to be here.
I think St. John as a whole supports new grads and supports the experienced nurse. And the options are endless.
Come to our facility, come to apply, come to our website. You can call me and get a hold of me personally, but it is a great environment to work in. We'd like to show you that we care about you so that you can care about our patients.
I personally think that this was a great recruitment video by St. John. It just goes to show like what people are really looking for when they're searching for a job, and what's all involved in nursing. It showed all different arrays of type of nursing at that hospital. So I just thought that that was really great. So, to end everything, as this presentation describes, there are many different factors when it comes to recruiting and selecting staff. It is not just from the recruitment side, but it's also from the side of the individual applying for the job. As seen throughout this presentation, a big key factor to having great recruitment is having happy staff members and a good work environment. If individuals have this, then they will refer many people for the job. When people are happy with what they have seen and satisfied, they will always come back. This is a big thing to implement when working with nursing students because you want them to want to apply for a job in your hospital. And then here are all my references. So I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and I look forward to seeing everyone else's presentations. Have a great day!